welcome to your short vol show. And thanks for watching today, folks. I appreciate all the positive feedback from the recent interviews, and I do indeed have another interview scheduled for today around 4 o'clock. And I have not gotten into politics despite the sort of political headlines on the interviews. I think that, everybody's got to learn something here politically. I think for Democrats, it's time to admit that some of the Trump policies have been good for the economy and the market. And for Republicans, I think it's time to admit that this is not all just smoke regarding the president and all these allegations. If you watch that Ainsley Earhardt interview on Fox News yesterday, there's something not quite right about what all the stuff the president's saying. Like, people should not flip on each other and all that. He sounds like more of a mafia don than the president at some time. So, I'd like to stay away from politics because I don't want to alienate, half the people. And to be honest with you, I find myself most of the time surrounded entirely by conservatives, and me having more of a liberal bend, to be honest with you. But it's good that I'm surrounded by conservatives because it keeps me in check, and it forces me to kind of articulate my feelings in a way that makes me think about stuff. And for me, it's always important to try to think about both sides of an issue. So anyways, enough about that rambling. I did find something interesting which I want to talk about today, and it's a stock called RH, which I just kind of popped up on my screen. So let's go through the just basic VIX stuff here, and then I want to talk about RH. Okay. All right, so today we have the VIX down 39 cents so far, right around 12 in the VIX right now. And we can notice that the roll yield is still pretty high. I think that those of you who are short VXX or UVXY, I know it's been kind of like, hasn't been moving a whole lot in the last day or two, but I think that contango is building, and you're going to see more of a down move. Just hang with it, and it's going to work. It's working now. The edge is building up. When we look at the chart here, there's $2 between spot and the M1 future, and that has to narrow. It has to. And what I mean is that even if the VIX stays at 12 or goes to 1250, hangs around here, you're still going to see these things come down. I mean, they can kind of hold it up for a little bit, but this is going to come in. So the short VIX trade will work for you. It's a matter of patience. A lot in the market's a matter of patience. Warren Buffett says the stock market is about a redistribution of money from the impatient to the patient, and that's definitely true in the VIX setup right now. $2 is a pretty, we're just starting the expiration cycle, but even so, $2 is pretty wide for right now, and we can see ourselves here setting up for contango to be increasing. I know if you watch closely the recent video with Stephen Aniston, or maybe even the one with Mark Sebastian, you would see that they talk about the curve kind of flattening out this year and not having as much sort of edge in it as before. And, for a lot of the beginning of the year, or a little bit of the beginning of the year, we were in backwardation. So, we haven't seen the big down moves in UVXY and VXX that we saw in other years, or the rally in SVXY, to put it another way, that we have in other years, or VMIN. But contango has been slowly building, and so I sort of beg to differ with these guys a little bit in that 6.7% here right out of expiration, with $2 between spot and M1 and $3 between spot and M2. that is getting back to the levels it was last year. And if we continue along these lines, that will happen. You know, there's a big disparity between what we see in the news right now and what's actually happening in the market. The markets are looking like healthy. The rally continues, and contango continues to build. So whatever's happening on the TV news politically really has not been affecting the market that much right now. And, you know, we're kind of winding up earnings. Retail has had a great run for this earnings cycle. I was talking with Seth about Target. Look at this Target. You know, you're long any of this retail stuff, you're making money. Target, boom. I haven't even looked at Walmart, but let's take a look at Walmart here. You know, Walmart, boom. Stuff's really coming off the charts here. And the position that I got back into my long Facebook position a couple days ago, and here we are. So far it's been working, but I'm monitoring it very closely because I got in around 72 even area, and I'm keeping this tight to the vest here. If it starts to go against, I'm out. And I took an aggressive position. Okay, so my position in Facebook right now is I am long the 175, 185 call vertical in October. So you can see here. I'm just long it 9 times the 75, 85 call vertical in October. I paid $3.60 for it, I believe, and that's a $10 vertical. So I can more than double my money if it goes higher. I'm not looking to necessarily double my money, but just to make a nice profit there and get out. In addition, Canopy Growth, I put a really very aggressive position on there, and I am long the August with 7 days to go, 44.46 call vertical. Okay, so there's a $2 vertical which I paid 40 cents for, so pay 40 cents to make $2. And this is another one where I'm going to hang with it to some point, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to be out at some point too. So monitoring those very closely. I know that I'm available for these 8 days before expiration, like all through the trading days, so monitoring these very closely. But the one I did want to point out to you, which I found interesting, was RH. And RH is a home furnishings company, and $159 stock here. And if you look at like September, I'm looking at volatility, September 14 Sep, volatility at 80, and then October volatility at the money 59. So my idea was to put the spread on, buy the October 155 call, and I do that by clicking on the offer for the October 155 call, and sell the Sep 55 call, the 14 Sep 155 call. So I'm going to hit control and hit on the bid there. Okay, so this spread trading $2.25. Okay, so if you buy 10 of them, somewhere around $2,500. Let's say you buy 25. Okay, for 20 for around $5,000. If you look at this trade, all right, you're collecting $594 a day in theta. Now it's a long Vega trade. You see, it's long 300 Vega, so that's a big deal because vol can definitely come in. But you know, $594 a day is a lot to be collecting. It seems like a lot. And obviously this is going to make a move. Obviously there's a reason for this, but you know, I think that I kind of like it, and it seems kind of interesting to me. So this is like kind of in the same vein as that Tesla trade. Now, if we look at the chart, this thing is all over the board, and it's going to continue to be all over the board. But, you know, 500 and something dollars a day to collect theta for a $5,000 investment sounds pretty good to me. Excuse me. So take a look at that. You know, if you're paying $2 for a spread, the most you can lose is $2. So if you do it one time, it's $200. Okay, so let's say we just did this trade one time. Okay, you did the trade. No, wait, you know what? I'm wrong here. I'm sorry. I apologize. There's some other trades in here. I think I had that sort of doubled up. All right, so if you do it one time for $200, you collect 20 a day. Why not give that a shot and see if it works? Okay, wait, let's see. So this has it, that's the Occept 7, Occept 14. Collecting 14 a day, doing it one time for $225. If you do it 5 times for $1,000, you're collecting 74 a day. Seems like a worthwhile thing to check out. And if things just kind of stay here or go slightly lower, you're going to end up after a couple weeks with a free 155 call, which wouldn't be a bad thing either. So I don't know. I thought this RH thing was really interesting and something to look at. I've been checking out some other stuff too. I've been looking at the after discussions in an earlier video, I've been looking at Merck and Merck Vertical. That's a weird price outlier here. Let's take a look at this for a second. So this thing printed down to 66 and change at some point. Looks a little rotten. So a couple prints way down lower yesterday. We'll see where it opens today, but I was looking at like a long call vertical. It makes me a bit suspicious though when I see this sell down like that. The other one I was looking at was MasterCard. This one has, you know, it's been kind of moving sideways lately, but I think this one has the potential to come back in a big way. So we'll keep monitoring the market here. If we look at things that might give us pause, the VVIX back down below 100. So volatility not spooked right now. In fact, volatility kind of coming in, calm down, and the rally appears to be right back on. Facebook yesterday got up to 175. Like everything was going great for me yesterday afternoon around like 1 o'clock. I had Facebook up over 175, and I had my CGC up over 42.50, and then on the close, everything just completely sold off. But we're back up in CGC, and we're sort of back up in Facebook right now. So we'll continue to monitor the situation closely as we come into the open. And I'm monitoring my positions very closely, these two longs I have on. Right now, nothing for me in VXX, although, like I said, I do like that short VXX because I think it is going to work. Tesla. All right, Tesla in a range, and the call calendar spread that we've been talking about and monitoring has been working. So once again, the calendar spread I would recommend right now would be something like buying, well, we've got some different choices, but I would say buying either this 5 OC or 19 OC. Let's go with a 5 OC here with 42 days to go. Maybe, and I would say at the money call, so buy the 320 call, and then maybe pick a call with like 2 weeks to go, maybe the SEP, either the 7 SEP or 14 SEP. If you're going to pick the October 5, maybe do the 7 SEP. If you're going to pick October 19, maybe pick the 14 SEP, but let's check them both out. Okay, so we're buying the AUK 320, so then we'll sell a SEP 320 against it. So each time you do this trade, it's $1,043, and you're going to collect 15 in theta for that $1,000. So if we did it like 5 times for $5,000, you're going to collect $80 a day, and you're just hanging out. And I kind of like this one too. Now we were looking at RH 5,000 a day is giving you 500 a day. However, your Vega is a lot higher. That one had 300 Vega. So volatility goes down, and you're basically like, you're going to lose money on the Vega crushage versus the money you gain on the daily theta. So, and RH is looking, it could have a really big move coming up. So we'll have to see what happens. It's definitely priced to have a big move coming up. But in the meantime, maybe you put it on with a RH and collect that 500 a day theta for a few days. Sounds good to me. All right. So that's what I have for you for this morning. And do check out the Stephen Aniston video. I think that, I kind of put a clickbaity title about, the Republicans and this and that for this, but it's not really a political video. It's more about history and about Stephen's command for numbers is really fascinating, and I love listening to him talk about macroeconomics and teach about macroeconomics because he's great at teaching about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. And we will have an interview this afternoon. My friend Ken has been helping out with the interviews, and I just put him on for a second the last time because he's just getting his feet wet, and I want to get him comfortable in front of the mic and stuff, and I want it to be interesting and exciting and all that kind of stuff. It's really hard to start out in front of a microphone if you're not used to it, and I see him doing the same kind of stuff I was doing at first, and I still have issues, of course. So be patient with that, but I think it will help the show to have a second person involved. And I want to get more people involved because I find it much more exciting to have other people talking than just me. And I think you would probably agree with me on that one. Let me see. I think I might be on private mode here. Let's take a look here. I think I might have kept this on private mode. Let's see if we are. Yep, we're still on private mode. That's why nobody's watching. That's so funny. I've done it again. We're on private mode. But you can watch this on the rebroadcast, and you can do that soon. So I'm going to turn off now so that you can watch this on the rebroadcast, and I'll talk to you later in the day. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time on The Short Vol Show.